Hello and welcome once again everyone to another World of Warships video. Today I'm going to take a closer look on how to play the Russian battleships, and in particular the Tier 7 Sinop. The most outstanding feature of the whole Russian BB line is the reduced dispersion at medium range on their main armament, and the Tier 7 Sinop gets 9 406mm guns, an upgrade from the 356mm caliber of the Tier 6 Izmail, and oh boy are these guns simply fantastic. I'm a DD player at heart and usually shy away from battleship gameplay, but with the Sinop I totally get it. The sheer destructive capability of these guns has literally blown me away, if you pardon the pun. The devastating strike power of the Sinop's guns make this ship an absolute keeper and earns its permanent port slot with ease. I hope you are enjoying the Russian battleships series so far. Let me know in the comments what you think. I link some previous videos in the top right if you missed them. Now on to the build. Let's quickly go through the full Sinop ship build, starting with the consumables. Using premium will really increase your survivability here, as the Russian battleships come with a limited number of charges, unlike all other nations which get unlimited damage control parties. Combined with Superintendent, the max you can have per game is 5. The extra heal is always useful, and the Sinop also receives a fighter consumable for additional anti-aircraft defense. Onto the ship upgrades: Main Armaments Mod 1, Damage Control Mod 1, Aiming Systems Mod 1, and Damage Control Mod 2. Next to the captain skills, it's the exact same build as the Izmail, starting with what I would suggest for the first 10 points: Priority Target, Expert Marksman, Superintendent, Concealment Expert, followed by Adrenaline Rush, Basics of Survivability, and Fire Prevention, in the training order of your own preference. Let's go look at the ship's core stats using this build. For survivability we get 65,000 hit points, still with the relatively weak torpedo protection of just 16%, similar to the Izmail. Main artillery consists of 3 triple-mounted 406mm turrets, with a very strong setup of 2 in the front and 1 at the rear, but still with the relatively slow reload speed of 33 seconds and a max range of 17.4 kilometers. We get a decent AA defense rating of 57 with a max range of 6 kilometers, which is further enhanced by the fighter consumable. For maneuverability we get a top speed of 27 knots, a turning circle of 960 meters, and a rudder shift time of 12.9 seconds. Finally, concealment rating of 49. Sinop will be surface detected at 13.1 kilometers and by aircraft at 9.1 kilometers. Just a quick reminder, I'm uploading content regularly to YouTube, so if you want to keep in touch, just follow the on-screen instructions. So captains, we have these amazing guns that work best at medium to short range. So your primary objective will be always to close the distance. I'll admit this is not always an easy task in a battleship, but look for routes of approach that will provide cover, like islands, smoke screens, even your decent concealment for wide flanks. Be always on the lookout for opportunities to get angles to let these powerful main guns to do the talking on your enemy's broadsides. You want to be brawling in close to medium range. Attempt to play sneaky and avoid the full frontal assault. Catching your enemy by surprise when they are engaged is the perfect moment to attack, and will normally lead to devastating results. The Sinop is particularly lethal in killing other Sinops, so let this be a warning to you. Do not show broadside in the Sinop, as it can be citadeled quite easily, so be aware of your angling towards the enemy at all times. I should have aimed a little above the waterline there as he was sailing away from me, but a little unlucky with the dispersion, but still a very meaty 25k strike nonetheless. The only drawback I can find with these 406mm guns is the reload speed, as 33 seconds can feel like an eternity at times. especially in a close-range gunfight. Although adrenaline rush can reduce this depending on how much HP you have. The enemy Sinop goes down to my friendly Izmail. You shouldn't be surprised by the number of Russian battleships in the game at the moment. The full tech tree has only been introduced after all. Being in close proximity to the enemy in brawling situations like this brings the added danger of destroyers. With no hydro and relatively weak torpedo protection, they pose a very dangerous threat and should be prioritized and focused whenever possible. Sinop's great dispersion at this range makes it a great DD killer, so take those shots whenever possible. Aim well and you will be consistently rewarded. I managed to find myself here in a Mexican standoff situation with the enemy Sinop, but with the scores ticking down heavily in our favour and the game about to end, I throw caution to the wind and push in to attack. The Sinop excels in close range combat, and if you ever happen to find yourself within point blank range, well, get prepared to rack up those big damage numbers and very satisfying close range explosions. The Sinop has started to turn his guns to shoot my cruiser and is unaware of my approach. He's fired his front guns, leaving himself defenseless, and his fate is sealed. He's trying to turn his rear gun, but he's got no time to react. And triple citadel, deleted. These guns just feel so powerful. And he sees the funny side as well. So I've given you a brief glimpse of how good these guns are at medium to close range. The dispersion, however, at longer ranges can be quite poor at times, but that shouldn't dissuade you from taking long-range pot shots when the opportunity presents itself, as from time to time it's possible to land some very satisfying salvos indeed. Deleting a higher tier cruiser like this early on in the game feels so good. Right now the situation is pretty dire. We're almost 500 points down, 2 ships down, and the enemy CV is still alive. And I'm currently in a game of chicken with an enemy Tirpitz. And to be honest, if I was in his shoes, I'd be fancying my chances right now. I can't simply rush the Tirpitz down and attempt to drive by him, as I can't citadel him from close range due to his turtleback armour, plus the major fact he has torpedoes. I'm forced to use the island to protect my turn and hope that he chases me. I get some shells off at his superstructure, but he is fully angled and the damage is minimal. So I'm just going to kite away and start turning my guns. He is using the acquisition mod, so he has me still detected. He's got his secondaries on my Alabama, but my friendly Alabama has managed to take out the Vladivostok, and that's pretty huge. That gives us a few more seconds to fight out this game. Launch my fighters so I can get vision on the Tirpitz. He would seem to be taking the bait and following me, and you can see the angles while kiting away on the Sinop are quite good. I actually lose vision there for a moment. Okay, he would seem overly confident. Get almost 30,000. He's not firing, so he's definitely launching torpedoes. Be able to get away here. Okay, here come the torps. I am going to catch 2 maybe. No, just 1. Unfortunate. Oh my. We've managed to ground ourselves. I can't believe it. Gotta start reversing. Tirpitz is charging now. He's going to have his torps ready on the opposite side. I'm going to try and take out one of his guns maybe. We get 2 incapacitations. Did we take out both of his guns? This is such a sorry way to go out. On fire. I will have my repair up in a couple of seconds. My guns are almost turned. Here come the torps. only managed to take 3, and his broadside is fully exposed. And the turret goes down. Oh my god, this island. It's like that clingy X that refuses to let go. I believe I've grounded there twice. But we've managed to take out the turrets. And suddenly, from a 5-on-3 situation, it's suddenly turned around to a 3-on-2. We're only 250 points down. I'm going to try and take this capture point as quickly as possible. That will stop the points ticking in the enemy's favour. I can't stress enough how lucky I was there. I managed to out-derpet the derpets, so to speak. So much went in my favour there. Despite the relatively low torpedo damage reduction of only 16% on the Sinop, I was very fortunate to take virtually all 4 Tirpitz torpedoes on the very same spot on my stern, resulting in damage saturation and drastically reducing the amount of damage actually done by those torpedoes. I also managed to take out his front guns at a moment he had me dead to rights, so all in all very fortunate indeed. My team have managed to turn the tide in this game from almost certain defeat to the most unlikely of victories. We've managed to take back 3 of the 4 caps. I'm in the process of capturing the 4th. I'm a little reluctant to start counting my chickens when there is still an enemy carrier to contend with. But so far in this match, the CV has left me relatively untouched. At tier 7, you never want to contend with higher tier CVs coming after you. Shots away on the Normandy. He is slightly angled inwards. Still managed to get over 7,000, and the Alabama finishes him off. Now it's looking a lot more rosier than it did a few moments ago. We're about to draw level on points. I've managed to capture the A point, and now it's just a question of hunting down this carrier. Teammates seem quite pleased in the chat. We've made a very strong comeback here, so I'm congratulating the survivors. Enemy carrier spotted in the distance. Down to the final minute of the game now. Let's see if we can snag a kill on the enemy Enterprise. Our cruiser is quite low. Enemy carrier is moving quite slowly. I misjudged this direction, only a couple of thousand damage. Carrier did manage to take out our remaining cruiser. He is now attempting to flee, but that ship has well and truly sailed. Despite being somewhat erratic at times, the dispersion at longer ranges isn't all that bad when firing while sailing straight. And we managed to get the kill right at the end. While quickly looking at the results of a very satisfying win, I have to say, well played Alabama, +1 for you. Let's move on to the final part of this video. So far we've looked at playing the Sinop offensively under different circumstances. Let's now look at how to play the Sinop more defensively when needing to hold a position, or when severely outnumbered, or even both in this case. Shots away on the Aigle. Good 5 hits, 6,400 damage. He's smoking up. Always get these shots away on these destroyers anytime you spot them in that close range zone, because with very good dispersion at that range you can do a lot of damage to destroyers. It seems we've got a couple of battleships pushing down here. That's the tier 6 Bayern, German battleship. And he's followed and supported by Sinop. So we have at least 2 battleships here. I've got a nice position. I'm undetected at the moment. These smoke screens are effectively blocking all their vision. I'm briefly detected there. The Igla pops out of his smoke and he does spot me for a brief second. Let's see if I can get a nice shot off on one of these battleships. Sinop is my preferred target here. I could have actually fired at the destroyer there, but he was popping in and out of detection. Good solid 14,000 hit on the Sinop. Just going to slowly reverse here. I am detected. There was a DD spotted. In behind that island, and that's a Kagero, and that is a real threat on my flank. There is a very real danger of him popping out and torping from behind that island. His shots away on the Byron. I'm going to have to push forward to reduce the risk of being torpedoed from behind. But it's going to push me into a close quarters fight where I'm under constant threat of these secondaries from the Byron. My support is showing, the Warspite is showing full broadside, and he is being punished severely. Shots away on this Byron again. Good solid 10,000 to take out one of his guns. He should go down momentarily. I've got a pretty good position now. That Kagero can't come out and get me from behind very easily. Although my Baltimore has died to the Kagero. The Warspite goes down as well. Now this Byron lands a very solid hit on me there, over 10k. I actually repair my damaged gun here, because I want to deal with this Byron as quickly as possible, even at the risk of taking fire that will burn for the full duration. Managed to take out the Byron, or my Leningrad does. He gets the killing blow. The Igla is spotted again. He is going to be my immediate focus. One of my front guns is ready. Almost. Shots away on the Igla. Another solid hit on him. And suddenly a second Byron appears. They seem to be breeding like rabbits on this flank. Our Leningrad takes out the destroyer. That is one threat less to worry about. The second enemy Byron comes charging around the corner. He's showing full broadside. Only 3 of my guns are ready. Good solid hit on him, 8,500. I'm going to have to reverse away slowly here. All my support, barring the Leningrad, has now succumbed on this flank. I have to say the Leningrad is providing very good support here. He's constantly torpedoing the advancing battleships, forcing them to maneuver, giving me opportunities to get fire on them. Manages to get a torpedo on the Byron. Still reversing away here. Byron is going to show broadside again. Good solid strike, over 10k. Take out one of his guns. He should go down momentarily. He's quite low now. Oh, enemy Kagero was spotted, and I have taken my eye a little off the ball here. I've reversed back too far, allowing him a window to torpedo me from behind, and this is going to hurt. These are Kagero torps. Going forward as quickly as possible. Take only one, and that's not too bad. I'll pop a heel as well. I'm going to have to push forward rapidly and attempt to drive by this enemy Sinop, who is fortunately shooting me with HE. You see, I'm aiming for the upper belt, where the belt joins the deck. Get a very good solid hit of over 12,000 damage. The Sinop has weaker armor at that point. and it is capable to get penetration damage from this angle. Enemy Sinop keeps shooting HE, that's very favourable. He was better angled this time and managed to bounce 4 of my shells. With the benefit of hindsight, I should have fired at his main guns there while he was better angled. I do manage to set him on fire. I am quite low now. I should be able to get off one more salvo, and that's all I need. He does manage to set me on fire. Repair. I'm almost in range. And we get a beautiful triple citadel and delete the Sinop. We had to work hard for that kill. Very satisfying defensive engagement. Again, the Sinop is represented well on the scoreboards. I hope I was able to provide you with some useful information and tactics on how to play the Sinop. And thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I've linked some more of my recent videos at the end. Feel free to check them out. Let me know in the comments what you think, or if there is anything in particular you'd like to see. And until the next time, keep sailing it like you stole it.